Shasky, are you ready? As the segment is sponsored by Go to State, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoToStateLumber.com. Shasky, why don't you take it away? Get that mic on. Get that mic on.
Let's do it. I did that 2 days in a row.
Right.
All right, are you ready? Streets of San Francisco. It's a very simple little segment where I bring up old school things. It's not just about growing up in San Francisco. You can relate to this in any aspect of your life. Bonte, growing up in the Excelsior, San Francisco, we were kids, and in my family, we were kind of late to compact discs.
Yes.
All right? CDs. My sister, back in the day, used to dub tapes off the radio, and she would make these sweet mixtapes. That was cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes.
All right? So I remember when we got a CD player, a small one, and it had the little spring-like button at the top, and it was one of those portable ones where you could put batteries in it, but we plugged it in because batteries were way too expensive.
Right.
All right? Do you remember your first CD player?
Wow. 19...
Because I remember mine, 95, 96.
95, 96 when I was working Park and Rec.
Me too.
I was working Park and Rec, Richmond Playground, and I would get paid every 2 weeks, $5 an hour. I thought I was balling.
Yeah.
That was $20 a day, $100 a week. And I was like, ooh, $200 every 2 weeks for a 15-year-old? That was a lot of money. So I remember my first CD player. I don't remember the first CD.
I will get to that.
But I remember my first CD player, and by the time it was done, I needed a rubber band to keep it closed.
Really?
Yeah.
You played it till the wheels fell off. Well, we had one that we had to share between me, my brother, my sister.
Oh, that was a problem.
A big-time problem. And you would go different rooms and whatnot, and I'd bring it outside. So we had like one of those little portable boom boxes is kind of what it would be. It was the precursor to the boom box around 95, 96. Now, I remember, we had all these tapes. Now, all my buddies, their parents had CDs and CD collections. We didn't. We were late to this. My dad was an album guy. My mom was an album woman. All right? My dad had all his Deadhead albums. My mom had all the Motown stuff. So we had to get fresh music.
Right.
So I would go to Stonestown, Tower Records, and now I couldn't afford a full album.
Right. So you had to get the single.
The CD single.
The CD single with like basically 3 songs on it.
Yes.
That's depressing.
And I got a 2-for-1. I'll never forget it. My first CD, Candy Rain, Soul for Real.
Wow. Yeah, okay. And?
Skee-Lo, I wish I was a little bit taller. A 2-for-1 deal
I wish I was
Tower
a baller.
Records.
Wow. A little bit taller.
Remember
this?
this?
I was a baller.
So I'm asking the audience, what was your first CD? What was the first CD that you bought? All right? Now, real quick before I can move on, Spadoni, Lubman. Did you guys have CD players growing up?
Yeah, just the thing, so we had the little ones, they're like little tiny portal ones, they're flat. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone had this exact same one. Yeah, exact. So I was like, 8 or 9 when I got my first one, and I got the Marshall Mathers LP. I'm 8 or 9, by the way. So my mom was not buying this for me.
Right.
So my older
With
brother
the explicit
Sam,
label?
my brother Sam, I think is like your guys, like 40. So so like he would get it for me. Like he would all hooking up all this stuff. He got me into RBL Posse. I was like 10, by the way. RBL, Andre Nicotina, Mac Dre, all that sort of stuff. But my first album, Marshall Mathers LP.
What about you, Lubman? Quickly.
Oh no, we totally had CDs, and I remember we had the in my mom's car we had like the big book of CDs. So
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
My first CD
What was your first CD?
It had to be a West Coast CD. So it was either a Too Short or E40 CD, no doubt, or a San Quinn.
So
one of my first, but it was definitely local. I don't remember the exact first one because once I started buying CDs, then I would buy everything. I would buy 8-Ball and MJG. I would buy the Hot Boys. I buy Cash Money. I bought Biggie Smalls' double album, Tupac Machiavelli. That CD was I played it over and over and over again. So I don't exactly remember, and I'm looking at some here. I think it's Infinity Mobile text line 650. First CD, Beastie Boys, License to Ill.
See?
415, Sony Discman, 92 and Jodeci, Forever My Lady.
Wow, that's a classic.
Cypress Hill, 650.
Wow.
Linkin Park, 925. First CDs I ever owned were the Sounds of the 80s pack. First one I bought myself was Metallica's Black Album.
All right, so my first CD, the first full CD, and I saved up for it. It was over $20. Double disc, All Eyes on Me, Tupac Shakur.
That was sick.
Now, as we're referencing before, we had the CD player, and it was actually a lot more rugged than people remember. We'd move it from room to room. We'd fight over who would use it. Sometimes plugging it in outside. I would play ball in the backyard.
Right.
My brother signed up for Columbia Records.
Yeah.
You know, where they would send you,
they'll send you a CD here and there.
Oh, we had Jock and Rocks.
Right.
We had all these different albums. Now, after a few years, I collected enough CDs that I got a CD tower.
Oh yeah,
and now
I know what you're talking about.
You had the CD tower in your room. Yep. Some people had it on the side of the televisions. Right. Some people had it on the wall.
What was the CD packs where you put it into plastics?
Exactly.
And you had your 24 pack or your 48 pack, and you would put it in your backpack.
Here we go.
And at school, you start opening up your pack. You're like, you know what? I'm in the mood for Hot Boys. Wait a minute. I'm in the mood for Master P. I'm in the mood for Explosivo, San Quentin, Messy Marv. So I had a 24 pack CD case.
You didn't have a tower.
I didn't have a tower.
So I had a buddy, Sean Fahey. God bless. I love you out there, buddy. He had the biggest tower of CDs. Right. I was so envious. Right. My buddy Anthony, his parents had the CD tower, and they'd have every single album, and it was organized perfectly.
Right.
And you'd have to pull the CD out.
Did he have an alphabetical order? Did he have the A,
I don't remember,
B,
but it was
C,
just,
D, E?
It was just always so perfect. It wasn't in alphabetical order, but some people had just glorious collections. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
All right. So then you go and you would transport it when you get a Discman like we did. We'd have our backpack. Now, it started with one of those small binders. I had one that only had like 5 slots. So you would squeeze 2 CDs together and so that they wouldn't scratch, and you'd stick them in there.
You put the cover or the top of the CD together so you make sure that they didn't scratch again, even though they would scratch a lot anyway.
Oh, they'd always scratch. Okay?
All the time.
So you would have certain albums, and you'd give them to friends or someone would borrow them. I must have bought Doggy Style 15 times. I must have bought the Chronic 15 times.
I remember making the mistake of buying the Hall of Game by E40.
Oh, yeah, classic.
And I bought the clean version. And I was wondering, I was like, why is it skipping? Like, you know, when the curse words, they scrub out the curse words because you're not old enough. I was like, what's going on here? And I remember somebody said, yo, dog, you bought an E40 clean version CD because I wasn't reading the label. And so I remember making that mistake and having to buy it twice.
So there were certain girls that I knew that had the most organized CD cases I've ever seen in my life. They would have the booklet. Now, the booklet would have all of, like, the song names and who was on them.
They take out one piece of paper of the album cover, slice that out, and just have the songs on the back, and you put the CD right there in that pocket.
It was beautiful. Now, some of my other friends that were sloppy, they just had CDs all over the place.
That was basically me.
Yeah, and they were all over the place. Now, as we started to get vehicles and people were driving in cars, you would say, hey, should I bring my CDs into the car? Now, we didn't have CD players. People had the tape with the little extension and the cord that you'd plug into the Discman. Do you remember this?
Oh, absolutely.
Who was your first homie that had a car where you had to plug the tape in to play the Discman? Mine was Eric Bellato.
Yeah, Cleo Canton, rest in peace. He actually didn't even have the car kit adapter because by that time he had the 96 Mustang. And Big Dog City and I would always be in that car. And he had the 5-disc CD changer.
Oh, bro,
so
that
we would
was
have
next level.
So that was Hot Boys.
Wow, he had money.
That was TRU.
Wow.
Master P, remember that
Ghetto
double album?
Dope? Of course I do.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. But he had Moby Dick and Mia X on that song with Silk the Shocker. And Silk the Shocker may have had the worst verse in hip-hop, no doubt. So he had the CD disc changer. He had that, no doubt.
No one skipped more than a Silk.
Marquise Gillette, he bought, so our sophomore year, he bought a green Volkswagen. Marquise, if you're out there listening, he's lost a lot of weight. He looks awesome right now.
Congratulations.
He had the little rabbit, the little Volkswagen rabbit, so small. Those. And he had that tape, and we would put it in with the long old cord. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it did.
Exactly. And then you'd have your friend in the front seat holding the Discman
so
that it wouldn't skip. You guys have any idea what we're talking about, you younger guys in the back? You have no idea what I'm talking about. So cars had tape players.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The tape player part. No.
So we would plug a tape in
5-disc,
that had a cord that would connect to a Discman to play a CD.
I had one of those.
You had one of those?
I had one of those for an MP3 player, though. Like, I had one where, like, my Suburban that I would drive, it would go in, and then it would plug directly, the aux cable would go directly to my iPhone.
The aux cable. That's exactly what it was. So, B, how many times did you have a friend who would get their car broken into and lose all of their CDs? It was like losing a member of the family. Yeah. Because you lost your whole entire collection of music.
I remember George Washington High, our football team, we went at the Napa my senior year to play Justice Siena. The Justice Siena Braves. That was their football team. We go up to Napa, and the day of the game, we go to the movies. So people went to go watch different movies. A lot of us went to go watch Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I had my CD player, and I put it under my movie theater seat. And I remember when I got in the van, I was like, my CD player, no! And it was lost under the seat, and I lost my CD player. And it was a good one, too. I remember I spent like $40 on it.
And your life was about to end.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
It was. And I had all these CDs, and I couldn't play them.
Bro, there were certain of my friends, some of my friends weren't into music, but most of my friends, we couldn't go anywhere without the right jams. You had to have jams.
You had to have the right CD.
And this is before burning, because burning was a whole nother level of CDs, right? Because my cousin JP Money was burning them left and right. You want to talk about the ice cream man of Napster.
Yeah,
There's John Porter.
Well, our boy was Thomas Coleman. We would go to his house and we would put a mix on.
Did he label the discs on the front end? Because if you didn't know what was on that mix, you would pop it in, and it would be like a grab bag of hitters.
No. He would give us the Sharpie, say, name it whatever you want. And so I would have different names like, this is the one.
Wet Boy Summer?
And knowing that, and so knowing that, hey, I've got a little Outkast on this one. I've got a little JayZ. You had to have the hits. And you and the doctor was like, nah, this needs to be song number 4. No. This is song number 5. No. This is song number 8. Because that was the fascination with albums.
Yes.
How do they put the songs together?
Yes, absolutely. It's just that whole era, the CD era. I miss that era. I really do. Yeah. And here's the other thing, B. Do you remember when your friend had the 5-disc changer in the trunk, and to change an album,
you had to get out the car, no doubt.
Get out, go to the trunk, and then you go, damn, I'm kind of a target right now because they know I'm changing CDs.
But you would do it quickly, though. You would do it so fast. You have it out there, you put it in there. All right, E40's disc 3, JayZ's disc 2, Mac Dre's disc number 7.
Bro.
And so I saw something on YouTube here, which is hella funny.
What's that?
The most exciting part about a CD was opening up the wrapper and taking the plastic off.
The best part.
Now, how many people crack their CD by taking the plastic off? I would crack CDs so many times by just taking the plastic off because you're so excited you wouldn't be able to open it because the stickers are so tight.
100%.
Whether it's from Tower Records, whether it's from Sam Goody.
Yes.
Remember Sam Goody back in the day?
Oh, absolutely.
And then, of course, the Warehouse.
Oh, I mean, but music, creative music. I used to go to all these places, and I would like bargain bin. The way you go to Mervyn's or Ross now, and you're looking for like deals and stuff. That's how I would look for music back in the day, CDs. And it was like, who had these collections? And everybody had collections. Nowadays, these kids, they got no clue. You've got every song that's ever been made at your fingertips.
I got Spotify and I'm good. I got YouTube Music. I'm good. I got the Odyssey app and I'm good. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But there's something lost. There's something lost in the sauce. I miss the days of CDs. Look, is it more convenient doing it this way with the phone? Yeah, of course it is.
But the process.
Thank you.
And being excited about an album being released on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday.
Thank you.
And you're going to get that cassette tape.
Thank you.
And then when the tape rips, you're like, oh, how do I tape it together and get it going? Remember you would tape it together once the tape ripped?
How about judging someone based off their CD collection?
Oh, it was huge.
I want to see what's in your archive. I want to know what your music is. Nowadays, do you think I give a damn about what's on Joe Spadoni's playlist? No. But if you had CDs in the front seat, I would pick up the entire booklet and I would get a good feel for who Joe Spadoni is as a person based on his music.
And then also because me and Sam we're the end of the millennial generation, right? So you guys are the beginning, we're the end of the millennial generation. So when we started, it was CDs, and then it started going into downloading from LimeWire, right? So you download all the MP3s because you have the iPods. Then you got the iPods, and then what you started doing, go to the iTunes, and then YouTube to MP3 was the last thing. YouTube to MP3 was the last thing where you kind of felt like
ruin your laptop,
and then you would ruin everything, and then it went all the Spotify.
What was funny is when you talk about you talk about judging people off the CD case. I'll never forget going to Woodleaf. Young Life Woodleaf kept up there in Marysville by Sacramento. And Wet, my boy Mike Gomez, he had his CD pack, 50 CDs. Like, yo, Gomez, what you got, man? Let me see your CD pack. I need a CD. And he had nothing but R&B. And we're like, this is trash, dude. You're the only guy we know with all R&B CDs. What are you doing, making love? No, there was not one hip-hop CD in there.
Really?
And we're like, dude, this is trash, dog. All R&B.
Did he have a girlfriend at the time?
He was into the ladies. He was always into the ladies. But it was like, come on, dog. What is this? No, nothing?
Nothing.
Explosive Mode? San Quentin, the hustle continues?
There are certain albums, when I see the CD itself, it takes me back in time. I open up the Chronic, and there's a weed leaf. Yeah. There's just something about that. I miss that. You don't get that now.
What about the Loonies? The Loonies album with the condom?
Yeah. It's an old-timer. The point that I'm getting at, Look, it might be more convenient. It might be easier nowadays with the way we stream music. And you know what? I might be at the forefront of it. I listen to all kinds of music. But there is something that I miss. I miss going to Tower Records, finding an album, paying way too much for the album, instantly regretting it because there's only one song on there that I really wanted to play because I couldn't sample it.
Yep.
I miss those simpler times. That's how it was growing up in my day in the streets of San Francisco.
You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM and AC West San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the most up-to-date sports coverage. How frustrating was it when you played the song over and over on the CD and that song started skipping?
It was the worst.
It started skipping. You go from half a verse all of a sudden to the third verse. You're like, what happened?
It was the worst.
And then the CD player would say, skip, 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 era. And that was the worst thing ever. So then you try to put the rubber bands on there. You try to sit on the CD player just to get through that song.
Remember they had the spray? They had the spray with the wipe thing?
It never worked.
No, it never worked.
It never worked. It was a waste of money.
I can't believe how many wasted dollars I spent on music.
It's really fascinating. Buying the CD over and over.
Thousands of dollars. Who had the best CD collection of all your family, friends, whatever, growing up?
I don't know. What about the guys?
Because they would have like the DVDs on one side.
Because it was a competition.
Of course, it was a competition.
It was like NFL players coming in with new Porsches and Lamborghinis trying to show off. When you go to high school, or there were some guys with the big binders, and you had big 4 per page CDs, and they'd just be flipping. They'd be like, flipping, just stunting on you. And then you got your little CD packet, like, oh, I only got 20 CDs. Damn,
and then
look at all
when you're
this.
looking for an album you can't find, where is it? Where is it? You go crazy.
Or because people would get you. You let somebody borrow it, you'll never pull up that CD.
We all knew a bunch of five-finger buddies.
It was a lot of CD snobs.
A lot of CD snatchers.
Shout out to Bco out there, Volume Sports. New mother, by the way. Her baby's
Congratulations.
Beautiful. She said, I steal my mom's Crazy Sexy Cool album and Brian McKnight album.
Oh, my God.
And that explains why I now love R&B. Was hyped when Brian sang the anthem at a Dubs game one year. So, stealing CDs, swooping CDs from people. Then the Walkmans. We got to do one with the Walkmans where the Walkman will be on life support, and you're playing it. We'll get to that.
Life support.
There was an early, so when the Xbox first came out, you can put a CD of your own music and put it onto the Xbox. Right. You can put it on there, and it would download, and you can listen to your own music on the Xbox. Oh, yeah. I had so many.
I was a PS5, 4, 3, 2. I never had Xbox.
But the Xbox, that was a cool feature. That allowed you the OG one. Yeah.
I was all PlayStation. I was all PlayStation.
Guys,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Did that like when you go on a road trip, for example, right? I remember this distinctively. We went up to Oregon to go visit my boy Will, and it was literally I spent more time worrying about what the mix of the CDs was in the car than I did the outfits I brought.
So Cleo Canton, rest in peace, would have me in charge of the music.
Okay,
and it was very important to me because
DJ B.
I was never driving. I was always in the back seat. Yeah, Big Dog City in the front. I was in the back, and I was like, music is very important. If you put a trash song on for 4 minutes, it puts me in a bad mood. You had to have the right mix. Rough Riders album was a big hit for us. Classic. I mean, DMX had some of the sickest songs on there.
Ridiculous.
Jada Kiss. It was ridiculous. But whoever had control of the music, it was like having control of the TV remote. You better be on point. You better know when to change the channel.
The music sets the tone.
It sets the tone for the entire trip. For the entire night.
I don't care if I'm going to go get McDonald's on the late night.
It sets the tone.
Thank you.
You got to be in a good headspace.
I do miss the days where you'd put in a good song and the 5 people in the car would literally break out into a concert at a red light.
And then you replay it.
Oh, of course.
And then you go back. Yo, run that back, man. Repeat. Run that back.
Did that bring a smile to everybody in his face on a beautiful Friday of St. Patrick's Day? Did you enjoy that?
I loved it.
I think a lot of people, when they hear the name of the segment, Streets of San Francisco, they think it's San Francisco related. No, it's things from my youth that are transferable to everyone out there.
Look at this. Look, and now we're getting tweets here, Sasky.
I hope people enjoyed that.
DJ Marcus Lee. What up, DJ Marcus Lee? Literally in the process of uploading my CDs to my DJ library. And he's got, look how cool these CDs look.
My God.
He's got RBL Posse right here.
Wow.
Look at it. 18, oh my God, Black and Brown. It was 17 Reasons. Then what was the next one? 18
with a bullet.
Come
on. 18 with a bullet.
By the way, I saw Be Legit.
17 Reasons.
I saw Be Legit at JP Morgan Club a couple weeks ago. And I said, remember Drought Season?
Oh, yeah.
Quinn.
Come on.
Be Legit. And who was the other guy? Who was the other guy on that song?
Mac Ball.
Came on.
No,
it wasn't Mac Ball on that one.
Drought Season?
It was that song on 17 Reasons.
I know. I thought it was Mac Mall, Quinn, and Bila.
Was it Mac Mall?
I could swear it was.
All right.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, I want to look it up right now, too. But that song is hard. I was like, Be Legit. Thanks for it. That was my anthem coming in. Quinn Selsky. It was Selsky. Selsky was on that.
From Lakeview.
Selsky was on that song.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Black and Brown Productions put out a lot of great albums.
They did.
They really did. I missed the CD era.
I missed the struggle. I missed the struggle of it, too. What about when you did have that case? You just had the CD in the back of the backpack, praying to God that it doesn't scratch up.
Yeah, but that was the time when you'd listen to a whole album. Like now, like for example, Drake drops a new album. People like hammer a couple of songs, and that's it. Like we actually would listen to the whole album.
And the best part about hip hop too back in the days is that you had a legit intro that set the tone for the album. And the intro could be 2 minutes, and it's them talking, they're doing something funny.
Absolutely.
And every 5 songs, or every 6 songs, or every 4 songs, you have an interlude. And you have a little skit.
100%.
And it set the tone, and it goes into the next chapter of the album.
Or the entire album was a story.
Right.
And it was interweaving in between the stories. I mean, that's part of the beauty of it. The Chronic, one of my favorite albums of all time, it's like intertwined, song to song.
The best part about looking for CDs is when you go to the R section, right? You're looking for RBO, and you're skipping through CDs. You're just slamming it, right? You're just like, where's it at? And then you finally find one. I remember finding Sibo Till My Casket Dropped at Amoeba Records in '99. And I was like, oh my gosh, they don't even come out with this because he ripped the governor of California.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes,
Pete Wilson.
Pete Wilson. He had the big Rolex on the arm that looked at the size of a Lexus.
Gosh.
God, I miss Sibo. And also at Amoeba, they put the metal detector in only the rap albums.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because they knew we were trying to steal everything.
Yeah, well, shout out Tower Records.
5 Finger Discount?
Warehouse on Gary Street, Gary and Spruce. I mean, they got hit up a couple times, especially when the Hot Boys album came out.